The show goes on. NBA Finals finally here, starting June 1st, Thursday. Now we're going to have the Denver Nuggets and the Miami Heat. We only just give our initial analysis as a preview of the finals. And then at the end, we give our predictions of how it'll go. First off, as I look at the series, you got to start off with Jokic. Jokic is that man.
Yeah.
And as you know, the Miami Heat team, they're a small team.
Yeah.
Really small. And the zone was very effective against the Celtics. I don't think that zone's be the same with the Nuggets, because they actually have perimeter players that can shoot and get a bucket different ways.
Yeah.
Like all of them. Like seriously, the weakest one maybe on the floor, like shooting wise, Aaron Gordon, but he can turn out to have a good night if he's wide open, at any point. So it's like that team can really shoot. Will the zone be effective, and can Eric Spoelstra come up with some type of scheme to limit that? I'm excited to see what's going to happen, because I love the matchup of these two coaches. I love the idea of seeing like the chess matches between these two.
For sure.
But yeah, so you answered a question for me, man. Like, how can the Heat stop Jokic, man? Like, what can y'all do?
You have to give Jokic different looks every time on the floor, because he's going to go to the block. He's going to go to his spots. He's a big body. You have to be physical with Jokic, like 48 minutes, nothing less. Jokic has to have somebody on him at all times. When he's coming up the floor, you need to be in him. When he's trying to get to the block, you need to be in him. When he's walking to the bench, you need to be in him, like the whole time. Because the dude is a walking triple-double, like literally. The only way to play him is physical. I think Bam has to go at him, Jimmy has to go at him, Kevin, whoever. We're gonna bring UD in. He's gonna rough him up, like make him work for everything, bro. That's a major key in this series. Jokic cannot just walk into whatever he wants to do. You have to make it tough on him. He's gonna get you, because he's a talented player. But the main thing is to not let him get comfortable. Being physical, being aggressive, and really attacking him on the defensive side, because he's not an athletic defender. He's smart, but I think we need to really put him into the pick and roll, get some lobs up for Bam, because he's not going to be able to out jump him. That is the main thing for Jokic, at least. Just really make him work on both ends of the floor, being physical and giving them different looks every time down the floor.
Yeah, that kind of reminds me of what KG said. That's exactly what KG was talking about too, like literally just being physical with him.
Yeah.
That's the only weakness that we know that Jokic has. It's just not as athletic as a lot of other people. So maybe that'll work. We don't know, but that's something to try.
Sure.
So that's a good method. But not only Jokic, you also have Jamal Murray for the Nuggets. I believe Miami Heat's perimeter defense, you always put Butler on, right? I believe the Miami Heat have enough perimeter players to like slow down the Jamal Murrays and the KCPs and maybe even Jokic to some degree. So in this series, though, although we are seeing the coming out parties of Caleb Martin and Gabe Vincent, I think we can still say that the Nuggets are still the better constructed team at this moment, because we don't know the status of Tyler Hero. That could potentially change some things, but he's been out so long, his conditioning is going to be off. So you have to consider that as well.
For sure.
Yeah. So yeah, it's gonna be something. And again, the Denver Nuggets have home court in this situation. and they have an advantage twofold. Not only that they have home there, they also have an advantage with the altitude, because that is definitely a thing.
Yeah, Mile.
So our city. So like, how will the Heat fare with that? So all valid questions to ask.
For sure. I think when we look at the matchup, obviously Denver has a very talented team on paper, and what we've seen on the court. Those guys have been playing together for really 3 years or so already. Just the guys have been in and out with injuries, and they've added pieces recently. But I think, like you said, the Miami Heat have a lot of guys who are versatile on the perimeter. We can give them a lot of looks. Jamal Murray obviously is the other primary ball handler, playmaker for the Nuggets outside of Jokic. I think giving him a lot of different looks, not letting him get any easy layups or like a lot of drives, and he likes to drive and kind of pull up, get that little stop turnaround jumper. Kind of cut that off. I would say make him beat us from like heavily contested threes. That's what I would be doing. For me, because I want to give him also good, different looks as well. I know Jimmy's going to be helping out. He kind of likes to roam around the floor as far as defense. I will put Caleb on him a couple of times just to give him some length. Gabe is very like steady when it comes to his like defensive presence, but Jamal is like 6'4". I think Gabe is like 6'2". I would want to put a little bit more length on him, just trying to make it harder for him to get those easy shots off over like a smaller guy, basically. But overall, it's gonna be a crazy matchup. They have a lot of guys, a lot of shooters, tall, and we are not the biggest team. We're not the longest guys, but energy, hustle, and constant switching is something that I feel like they've been very accustomed to. So it's nothing new.
Right. If you're the Nuggets, do the same thing you've been doing all postseason long, playing through Jokic, playing through Murray. That Murray-Jokic pick and roll is one of the harder things to stop.
It's tough.
It's gonna be so hard to stop that.
It's tough, bro.
If you're the Heat, I don't know. You got to make sure you have the right matchups on those people when they do the pick and roll, like Bam and Jimmy, basically. So when you have it, you have a chance, So like, it's tough.
100%.
That pick and roll is so tough, and their chemistry is so on point.
Mm-hmm.
And that can kill you in any situation. So you have that. You always have that in your back pocket for the Nuggets, and KCP always seems to show up.
He's been
in this series,
very much a reliable guy in the entire playoffs for them. So
yeah, if you get any contributions from Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter, that's a win. I believe that the Nuggets are going to be favored in this series. I feel like they are, and they deserve it. Oh, and it just came out. The Nuggets are heavy favorites in the finals. Oof. The Heat are 270 underdogs. Ooh, that is a huge underdogs. But to be honest, the Heat love to be in this position. Am I wrong? You tell me as a Heat fan. Y'all love being the underdogs.
People just continue to count them out, even though they're in the finals as a play-in 8 seed. I get it. It's nothing wrong with that prediction, because obviously it's the Denver Nuggets. They've been 8-0 at home. They've swept the Lakers in the conference finals. They've kind of breezed through up until this point. And they have a 2-time MVP in Jokic. So it makes sense that they are going to be favored. But heavily favored, that's what I'm like.
Heavy favorites.
Yep. Okay.
Like heavy favorites, bro. Like heavy.
Are we?
It's bad. It's that bad. But to be honest, the Nuggets did close out their series in 4. The Heat had their chances.
They did.
But they did not. And then the Nuggets also have 10 days rest. That's also an advantage. I would say this, though. Because of that rest, they may be a little rusty. But the Heat have any chance that they can steal game 1, it's on. Like, there we go. It'll be a really good series, I think.
They've been very good at
They can steal game one. Yes, they have. And they have a chance just because the Nuggets they may be rusty. So, but Mike Malone is such a good coach, he may not allow them to. So I don't know. We'll see. But y'all have a high chance to win game one, in my opinion.
I think we have a high chance to win the series, even though people don't think so. But
yeah, I remember I said I was riding with you to the conference finals. I ain't made my pick yet, but I'm just saying,
that's cool.
Like, I ain't say I was gonna ride with them all the way.
No, you're good, bro. I'm not mad at it.
it.
I think the other thing that we have to factor into this is that, yeah, the Nuggets have a very talented team. They got Jokic, they got Murray, but do they have the experience? Do they have the poise to be able to come out, play a very hard, rough team in their house after resting for 10 days? I heard KCP in an interview saying that he's surprised of how energized the guys have been. So I expect them to come out with energy. But this is the finals, and everyone knows that the finals are a different beast. The playoffs are tough, but the finals are completely different. It's a completely new level compared to the intensity of the playoffs. So these guys haven't experienced that. I think the only person that has is KCP with the Lakers in 2020. Now he's playing against us again. So are they going to be able to match that intensity? Are they going to come out with that energy after this 10-day break? Are they going to show up, or are they going to fade away? Who knows? But I do know that Miami, second time in 4 seasons, and you got a hungry Jimmy Butler who wants this very badly. Young Caleb Martin coming up, trying to prove himself in this league. Kyle Lowry, the veteran point guard with the experience and a champion. Bam Adebayo, who I also have a lot of faith in. I believe in him still.
You sure?
You sure? Yeah.
Okay.
The thing, and this is another thing you have to think about too with Bam. I'm not making an excuse because I want him to be better, but Bam is our biggest guy for the most part. He played up until like the last minute of the game. So on top of being the defensive anchor, it's asking a lot for him to come down and also drop 30 points, which I'm not expecting him to do, but I still want him to be aggressive. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
If he's aggressive,
bunnies at the rim, man. Like at some moments, I was like, "Yo, why you just dunk that, man?" You know what I'm saying?
I think part of it is that he may be a little gassed because he's having to deal with the bigs. He's having to be an anchor on defense, and he's playing 48 minutes, which I take into consideration. But Miami Heat culture we're built for this, so I expect them to still be aggressive, still be a factor. Luckily tonight we had our other guys who stepped up in that place, at least for the scoring load. But I think that's going to be a big part of this for him too, especially going up against Jokic and a slew of other bigs. So, but I think he's very solid for sure. I think he's going to play a big role in this. He has to.
Oh.